So this is first use of my new GoPro 10, and I thought I'd record because Mickey's in here using my shot blaster, and Mickey is vertically challenged, so I don't quite know how he's getting on, but as soon as... Here we go, let's go and see. How you getting on, Mickey?
You wear gloves for this or not?
Yeah.
I ain't got gloves on. I thought he'd taken the finger out.
Do you want a box to stand on?
How do you put them on first, then go in?
Yeah.
I was going wet.
Do you want something to stand on? Do you want me to press the trigger for you?
Oh, alright, I can do that. It's just, where do I put this one?
You have to look. That won't fit that. You have to look in that
I thought the
corner.
eyes were bad, but I didn't realise how that.
You want to put that one on and all?
What one?
You want to put that one in to hold whatever you've shot blasted?
My legs are that long, mate.
I know you're struggling there, mate.
Then what do I do? Just press the...
And then look down the corner. And then when the bead stops coming out, just stop it and then lift it up and just rock it, and then it all falls back down.
Where's the coffee machine?
Hey?
Where's the coffee machine?
Coffee machine's in here, would you like one? So one of the jobs that's come in today, Sam's brought back from work, is a Range Rover Caliper, and the thread has gone here, but it's an M16 thread. So I haven't got a repair kit for that, so Sam's going to bore it out and tap it to 22mm, and while he's doing that, I'm going to make an insert up on the lathe. So we're doing this job together. Together, together, together. So I need a bit of aluminium to start. Like that. Oh no, that's probably perfect. Look at that. That's the problem with it. So I'm going to make it out of that there and put a nice step on it of some sort to lock it in. Sam's going to machine it. It's got a new t-shirt on.
Yes, new t-shirt.
Sponsored by Snap-on. When you drill it, can you also then machine a step in it so it stops it? We're going to the lathe. With that and that. 20, mate, yeah. So this is the first stage of the thread insert made. This is the outside diameter, which is done to a 22 by 1.5mm pitch. Can you see that? So I've got to do the centre of it and then make a nice neat step on here for Sam to be able to locate it into the caliper, but that's step one done. So this is my bit made. This is the insert for the caliper. That's 22mm outside diameter with a 16mm inside diameter. There's a step on the top there, which Sam needs to machine that onto the caliper, and then that should screw into that, which it will, but it's a bit tight, so probably just want to clean it out of places. Or I could always just cut the thread a bit tighter on that, but it's the right size thread. And then with a bit of luck, if I just put the camera down, the stud should screw into there with a bit of luck. Yeah, that's it. Nice and tight thread. So what I've got to do now is find a milling cutter which is the same diameter as that. Whoops. Screw that into there. Machine it nice and flat to make it nice and neat. And then that's that done. So that's the insert made for the caliper. We put a step in there for it to locate into. We've Loctited it. So now we've just got to get it to screw in. So we're using the original mounting bolt to fit it, and then we'll pin it so it don't move, and I'll show you the end result. So that's it, the insert's all fitted now. Sam's just got that in, it's all Loctited in. He's machined the top off, and then we've just gone through and cleaned the thread up. So that's one caliper saved. I think the retail price of this caliper to replace it was 800 quid. So for easy repair like that, it's all good news. Hopefully he will be happy. So it's Saturday, the weather is absolutely crap. I'm going to go and shoot up to Jan because he wants me to change the cam belt on his Subaru engine. On the last rally that he did, his exhaust manifold cracked and melted the rear cam belt cover, so he's concerned that the cam belt might have got a bit of damage from it. So I'm just locking my workshop up and heading up there. So the damage is down here. The rear of the cover's all melted. It's damaged the belt slightly. So that's it, that's the timing belt all back on Jan's car. So all he's got to do is just dress the covers back on it and everything, and then he's good to go. Perfect. So it's Saturday, I've got back from doing Jan's Subaru cam belt and a couple of jobs that I've got to get on with. One of them is starting to do this E-Type Jaguar stroker conversion. This should be quite a big power engine that we're doing here. It was originally going to be done standard, so I've already rebored it and honed it, and then my customers decided to go whole hog, and he's bought, well, he spent a fortune on it. It's JE pistons, Arrow crankshaft, steel rods, all the cams, big valve, everything. So that's going to be quite a good one to do. I've got to port the cylinder head and convert all that. So quite looking forward to getting on with that. The second job that I need to get done and out the way, which it's been on the shelf for a little while, is this TR6. Triumph TR6. I've just honed it, I've skimmed the block, I've just knocked the core plugs out. It's been done before and somebody's fitted liners in it, but there's still a fair bit of meat there. But it's good to see when you change the core plugs, because core plugs can actually look like they're in really good condition. Like this one didn't look bad, but when you get to the back of it, it's quite badly corroded. So it's quite a good practice just to change all of them. So that now has got to go in the cleaner. Then that's paint and ready to build. I've done everything else for it, apart from I've got to do lead-free conversion on it. The other job that I want completely finished this weekend is Focus RS engine. So at the minute I'm just dummy building the bottom end, the crank's in it, but I've got to work out, it needs some valve cutouts because he's gone big valve, so I'm just doing that. Then today, while I was over doing Jan's cam belt, a guy dropped off a Mazda MX-5 cylinder head for porting and a conversion. So yeah, it's all flat out as usual here. Nothing actually much has happened on the unit front this week. Hopefully that will change next week. The mezzanine's completely finished, so I will film that early next week. I think Tracy wants to get another vlog up because I think we've missed a few days. There was hopefully going to be a Pembrey vlog, but I don't know whether I'm going to make Pembrey. I haven't told Sam yet and the boys, because they're flat out putting a back axle in my truck and doing their best to get it ready, but some things have come up which meant I can't really do it. And then the last job that I'm trying to get done for early next week is me mate Jamie's BMW engine. So I've finally got the tensioner problem sorted on that. So today before I leave, I just want to CC the cylinder head up and work out what compression ratio that's at. But yeah, all good for now. This is my friend Jamie's 2.5 S14 M3 engine for his touring car that he's building. I've now checked all the settings, gone through the cylinder head, I've got the compression where we want to run it, so now it's just a case of bolting the rest of it together. So it's looking quite nice at the moment. So one job that I've got in today is to strip this supercharged mini engine down. It's out of a race car, it's had a slight fault, so I'm going to strip it to see if I can work out what's gone on. So with this mini engine virtually stripped, a couple of things that I just wanted to mention about it. The engine was modified, it's got Woosner pistons in it, arrow rods, slight porting on the cylinder head. It's knocked out one of the rods, but in stripping the engine, some of the things that I've noticed is the front pulley that was fitted, which is a bigger pulley to make the supercharger spin quicker. They've fitted it completely wrong, and it's been rubbing badly here and on these bolts as well, to the extent where I've had to tap a socket on to flatten the edges again, because the socket wouldn't fit. This is things that should just be checked, really. It just seems senseless. It must have been noisy, but there you go. Anyway, the other thing that I've noticed is none of the conrods was fitted in order, and although it's not really important because all the conrods should be the same, but they're marked with B1, B2, B3 and B4, and in the engine 4 rod was in number 1, 2 rod was in number 4, 1 was in 2, I think 3 was in the right way or the wrong way, and in fact none of them was in the right way. But in stripping the engine, I've also noticed that every single piston has touched the web of the crank. Number 4 rod, number 1 cylinder, even worse, because it knocked the big end out, so that's battered that. It's destroyed an expensive conrod. The crank I don't think salvageable. But these are things that really they should be checked when installing them. So this is a bad engine. I don't quite know if this one will be going back together, but I'm going to finish getting it into bits, and then I'm going to ring my customer and just have a quick chat with him about, does he want to continue with this or start another one. So this is the mini incomplete bits now. I mean, I haven't stripped the cylinder edge yet, but I don't know if that's picking up the marks. Well, there you go. That mark just there. That's where all of the pistons have been hitting the crankshaft. On the back of that, that's been hitting the front cover, and then the actual crank, as you can see on this good big end, it runs a nice undercut, but on number one the undercut is completely gone on that side of the rod journal. And as a quick measurement, let's see what how much it's knocked it out by. Let me just put it down a sec. So it's knocked out by 25 thou, which means it would take quite a lot more than that to get that back in. So the crank's scrap. I'm going to quickly ring my customer up and just go through his options. So one engine that I've been working on recently is Jamie's M3 S14 classic touring car engine. So I've worked the compression out. That's exactly where we want it to be. I've checked my clearances, they're all good. So the next thing I'm doing is torquing the cylinder head down. This uses 10 ARP stud and nuts. The torque setting for this is 95 foot-pound, but what I'll do is I'll bring them down in stages, or 3 stages. I've done the first stage. The second stage I'm going to do is 70 foot-pound. So with the torque wrench, just a nice steady pull, so you're not really pulling on the studs too much. I'm doing it in the sequence what the manufacturer wants, tightening sequence. And the last stage is 95, and then with the final stage, even steadier, pulling it up so you can really feel the stud start to pull. The good thing about this snap-on torque wrench is the traffic light system. You can really keep an eye on how the stud pulls up, and it also vibrates when you've reached the torque, so if you're in a noisy environment you can still feel it. And then what you've also got here is it beeps, it vibrates, tells you the exact torque that you've gone to, and then it tells you how many times in that top corner you've hit that sequence. So 10 times, which is right because we've got 10 bolts. So the next thing I'm going to do is there's 2 bolts here and here that I need to torque down, and then there's 2 water takeoff, water bungs here, threaded bungs. So I need to glue them in, and then I'm going to flip it up and carry on with the underside of the engine. And then another thing that I've been doing today is trying to get the the coach ready for racing. We've had an ongoing problem of a water leak, and luckily for me it doesn't leak over the bed that I use. It leaks over 2 of the beds that the team uses, but that's not really fair on them guys, but getting wet and we're racing at Pembrey this weekend, so I should imagine it's going to rain, and I'll show you the problem that I've created today. So this is it. This is the coach, ripped in bits. The ceiling's now gone. We've found the water leaks. The reason I did this is last night we had a massive storm, and I've come into the coach this morning just to check on a few things, and the floor was absolutely just a big puddle of water. So it's normally had a little leak here. This is a bed here. This part turns into a bed, but when we're driving back or when we're at the racing, we turn it back into the table, and it's always had a leak here. I thought I'd try and find the leak. When we drilled little holes in this part here, that container there, we filled that twice with the water that's in this rail, and then this rail here had water in it. Well, I think that's because we fitted a solar panel on the roof, and I think where we screwed it down, water's been able to get behind there. So James from Jay's Automotive, he's just gone to get some flash band, and we're going to try and flash band the joint up as a temporary thing. I've spoken to Steve from AK Race Transporters, who built this for me originally, and he just wants to sort it out properly. There's 2 races left, so I've said, look, let me get these 2 races out of the way, and then we'll get the coach back up to him. So what he wants to do is take the roof off and put a new roof on, a new big single sheet of aluminium, which this is here, and just start again with it, reseal it all for me. So Steve, whatever Steve does, he's fantastic at this kind of stuff. So we're going to get it back from Brands. We're going to take the seats out of it, take the kitchen out of it, take the shower out of it, and then let him put a new roof on for me, and we're going to try and get it sorted out once and for all. The other thing what we've done, try and look for the water leak, is this was always just a ceiling here, so we've cut it to see if it was coming in through this skylight, what was sealed up. But the one thing that I will say is having this skylight here and letting in the natural light into here and into the shower has made me realise that I want that skylight there. So that's something, I mean, they're going to go anyway because he's going to put a new roof on, but it's made me realise that I do want some kind of skylight there. So whether we use the original ones or buy some more camper specific skylights, they're definitely going to be put back in. And then James, who comes racing with us, he's then going to get involved in putting a bit of technology in here, really, having LED lights, sorting the sleeping out and sorting the dash and everything out. So yeah, it's been a bit of a crap day because of all this rubbish that we've got to try and do something with, the water leak, but the end result should be a lot better than what we've got at the minute. So Sam's back from work. James has been here all day trying to sort problems out, and they've both decided that the right way to go is to try and melt the flash banding into the roof. So at the moment they're both up there with a gas bottle and a road marking torch, trying to dry the roof out and melt the flash banding into the thingy majig. Is that work? Oh, that's soaking, isn't it?
Yeah, that bit is.
Look, when you went on that, then it lifted it right up.
Doesn't it?
I reckon we should put some. Shall I get that half a roll and we just patch that bit back in and then go over the lot as well?
Yeah, go a knife as well. We should put a factory roof on it.
So we've got a bit of a fire going on. Mark's been money laundering and has asked us to get rid of all the proof about is past, so there's a bit to do. Right, so racing this weekend at Pembrey in Wales, and Tracy just wants to get a vlog up, a pre-Pembrey vlog. So I'm just going to go and run through some of the bits from the car from Snetterton, and then Tracy can get a video up before Pembrey, and then the next video after this one will be Pembrey racing. So on this video, if anybody wants to leave a comment about things that they want to see, if it's more in-car stuff, if it's more of Kobe interviewing drivers, then hopefully I'll get to read that and try and get it into the Pembrey vlog. But for now, I will just throw over the car from Snetterton because we did have a few little issues. First racing at Snetterton, there was an accident in front of me, so that caused this damage here, which I was thinking about fixing it before Pembrey and Brands, but I've only been to Pembrey once before and it wasn't a very successful race there. On the first lap I snapped the throttle cable, and then in the second race on the fourth lap my back axle broke. So I haven't got any experience at Pembrey, so I thought, you know what, I'm not going to fix my truck just in case. The one thing I have been noticing on my pickup over the few races that we've come back to this year was halfway through the race I'm getting a slight misfire out of some of the bends, and I was thinking it was just the fuel sloshing around in the tank and it was just losing the fuel from the pickup. Sam's had to take the back off because I wanted to change the oil in the dry sump tank, which is just there. So that tank there feeds the engine with oil, so it has an external pump on the engine which scavenges it from the bottom of the tank, pumps it round the filter, the cooler and everything else into the engine, then pumps it back to the tank. That's how the dry sump system basically works. I mean, I can talk about that in depth if somebody wants that, but on an engine, or showing them actually on this, but not this time. This is just a quick rundown of the truck. So while Sam had the back off, I said to him, could you just take the fuel filter off and check the fuel filter? So Sam did, and he was with James, that comes with us as well. Sam rang me going, you want to see the filter? You want to see everything that's come out of it, and you can't breathe through it, you can't like blow through it. Well, all this here is what's come out of my fuel filter. And thinking back, I can't actually remember ever changing the fuel filter in it. So although this car's relatively new, the fuel filter has been on my old car, so it's probably done in total, I would guess, 30 races. So it probably needed the fuel filter doing, but still, in there is aluminium, plastic. This is everything out of the fuel filter. So we've drained the tank, we've changed the filter in the fuel filter for a new one. I wanted to check the tank to make sure in here there's a baffle, to make sure the baffle hadn't come loose, because I could see aluminium in there and I was thinking that might be the baffle vibrating around, but it seems fine. So we've got to take the pump off and check the pump, or just replace the pump as matter of course. And then I said to Sam, it's probably worth whipping the injectors out and checking the injectors. So he's done that. We've run the injectors up, and lo and behold, one injector is faulty. We've run it through the ASNU machine 5 or 6 times trying to get it to come back, and it won't. So the best thing to do is replace the injector. I don't want to replace one, I'd rather keep 3 as spares and replace 4. So I gave Jordan at Nevlock a quick call, and he sorted me out with some brand new VXR injectors, or 2 sets because I bought a spare set. So now we've got to put that back together. However, when Sam took that apart, one thing he did notice was these trumpets here bolt onto the back of the throttle body. Now these are a controlled part by Pickup Truck Racing, so we can't do anything with that apart from bolt them up, but one bolt was missing out of it. Well, it wasn't missing, it was sat in the bottom of the air filter. So sometime at Snetterton that bolt's come out, and come loose. Now, the one thing we couldn't find was the washer below the bolt. So Sam's done a health check on the engine, and that's fine. It comes back all good. So we've had a good look round for the washer. So that's either managed to find itself out of a small gap somewhere in the filter, or the engine swallowed it. God knows, but there we go. It's virtually ready now. It's just a case of putting it back together, ready for Pembrey, loading it up Friday, and then having a drive down. And Mark's here with his new top on. Sorry about the lighting. That's all we've got in this unit at the moment. These old lead lights until the electrics are done. So that's it. It's now Wednesday night. I'm going home. It's about 8 o'clock. Tomorrow I've got a few jobs to finish before getting ready to go to Pembrey. So this vlog's going to be out before Pembrey, as I said earlier. So the vlog after this one will be the Pembrey race. So please, if you've not already liked and subscribed, if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. We're getting a lot of views and not really many subscribers. So if everyone that's viewing it could subscribe, it'd be awesome. I really desperately want to get up to 1,000 subscribers. To everyone that has subscribed and to all the viewers so far, thanks for watching. A few jobs that I've got done this week, which I'm going to start building tomorrow, hopefully, is the TR6. The E-Type's now bored, ready to be skimmed and honed. My mate Jamie's BMW engine is near as damn it finished. I've got to finish off some injectors tomorrow, which I've filmed. So that's some of them that are okay. It's got 5 injectors that are scrapped, so they need to be sorted. I've done a load of work on a customer, Jonathan's Focus RS Turbo. Focus RS turbocharged engine. That's been a bit tricky because of the valve cutouts and a bit of extra porting work because of the bigger valves. I'm waiting for parts on a Vauxhall XE and a Cosy, but they'll be done hopefully next week. So yeah, all good. Thanks for viewing, and I will see you at Pembrey.
Yes.